just kind of monitor yourself. For the readers, for Monk and Lady Di, I want to thank you both very, very much for coming here to read with us tonight, to kick off the new year. We know it's going to be a good one. You will see me mostly because I'm actually going to be writing down everybody's name for the open mic. You will see me kind of come in and come out, so as not to distract from everybody. So without any further ado, good friend of ours, he's read for us at the gazebo on a number of occasions, and so we welcome here to the Oceanside Library, Poets Near and Afar, our good friend Monk.
Thanks, Tony. I see hands moving, and that's good enough. Thanks, Tony, for having this and hosting it, and thank you all for not listening to YouTube or being on your cell phone and making time to listen to some poetry. It's important to listen nowadays. And I got a few family members listening in, and I see a high school friend that I haven't seen in like 40 years. So, hey, Jordan. All right, I'm going to begin with a couple of pieces. My new book is poetic nonfiction, and it's called Moving Through the Empty Gate Forest. So a couple of pieces from that will give a flavor. There were a bunch of titles for this book before the one that became the title. What convinced this traveler? Seeing a blue jay land inside him and move through a holiday season wreath hanging on the patio in view from the desk where much of this book was written and edited. No big deal for a blue jay to move through a hole, an empty space. Yet the confluence of events and timing that made that happen are beyond rational, beyond the visibility of the naked eye. Blue jay through a wreath, nothing there. Yet the form of the wreath makes the action significant. Form and formless, gate and gateless, hence empty gate. Downhill ski slalom gives a similar example of moving through gates, empty gateways, nothing there, yet precision and an immense amount of training, skill, and in the moment ability help make the experience happen. Yet another way to consider an empty gate barrier is a crossroads with no visible gates. Much of life presents key moments when you must decide, and or it's decided for you which way to go. You may not know it at the time, but moving through or not moving through a particular invisible gate or going in a certain direction may make all the difference. On his way to enlist in the Army for World War II, my father happened to see a man on the street who happened to mention a nearby recruitment office for the Navy. Who knows? Had my dad gone into the Army instead, this traveler may not have been born in this physical body. And the next piece is about, well, we're called human, some people call us human beings. The next piece is about a tree called a copper beech. So I call it a copper beech tree being. And this is actually a piece of the bark that I have as a emotional souvenir, because the copper beech is no longer standing where it was when I wrote this. Storying. When this traveler sits with and observes the copper beech tree being, what comes to heart mind is what has been written or experienced by human beings is only a small part of the story, because insects crawled through and the inner bark breathes, feels moisture, adjusts to seasonal heatings and coolings. The copper beech speaks for itself with creaks and leaves. This tree worn like an old book with its own stories to tell. Not just the stories in the bark, in the book, but the stories of the bark, of the book itself, the making, the wear and tear, those who have touched the thin skinned pages and felt touched by those fibers, upon who by accident or carelessness a reader spilled something or a fingerprint, or a wisp of spaghetti sauce in the heat of eating dinner alone, while also the heat of the story, turning a page, the smudge of tomato becoming part of the book, the way the insect is sometimes part of the tree. The book, not a static thing, nor the tree static, though standing there in deep contemplation, recalling all the stories, planning how and where growing next, seeking more light, feeling the absolute stillness pierced with the reverberating song of a bird at dusk, at dawn. And the next piece is my dad passed away in 1990. A few years ago, my mom gave me a pair of his gloves, and that prompted this poem. It's called My Father's Gloves. My father's gloves are warm and fuzzy on the inside, the outside brown and smooth, perhaps suede. I don't know, but I'm raking leaves. November's biting sense of humor blowing them to interrupt the work, but really making the work harder. Yet there's a sunny and blue sky brisk, so it is a good flow of breath and wind and grasping at scattering dried brown wisps of summer's green memories. Not being one to hoard for memory's sake, these gloves are one of the only physical links to my father, aside from the flesh and bone of me. He having slipped off the gloves, so to speak, some years ago. But when I put them on, like a magician with nothing up his sleeves, he comes to visit, shakes my hands, says, carry on with the work. Suns shine, highlighting the time of day. Thanks for the visual clappings. The next poem's a little longer, and some may recognize the Zapatistas there's a brief mention of Zapatistas, who are the original indigenous peoples in Mexico, or some of. It's called, But When I Touched Your Skin. I saw your Buddha nature in the Buddha poster on the wall, my father's eyes in the man on the street, your blue eyes in the May afternoon sky. Tried to count the blades of grass in the lawn, but could not wrap my mind around the number. The pockmarked apocalypse packed its bags and disappeared, so the people would web search to find out that it really meant a lifting of the veil, revelation. I didn't see my Zapatista nature in the internet picture of the face with a black balaclava, but I experienced it when the afternoon sun hit the white metal rain gutter on the side of the house. I didn't see nothing because it was so bright, but it spoke of a white fire that cleanses the soul, and the light bathing from the long days of the solar cycle. But when I touched your skin, the drone of Buddhists chanting in the horrific machinery of suburban manicured lawns. But in the lilacs, all I could smell was lilacs. In the cut grasses. In the rosemary, rosemary. Then dusk lingered in the mouth, speechless, like chocolate, melting on the quivering tongue-red horizon. Broken dreams in the artillery of pawns marching across borders, choking on the dust of deserts while elitists chuckle broadly over broads and cocktails in air-conditioned glass hotels when they should know better than to throw stones. But when I touched your skin, I did not see the Buddha nature in birds, blinded from the Fukushima fallout, but it was felt as night fell over the town. A light went on inside when day broke bright again. A man wore black, and so I saw the yin-yang nature of the world, but could not wrap my mind around the rainbow, nor why the materialists would want to desecrate the Grand Canyon by mining uranium. But after discussing it with a friend, we realized the root of the problem is mine and yours. But when we touch a human being's skin, And this one was written in May of last year. On a lot of my poems that are topical get posted at a news website called accessoflogic.com. And this is called Manifesting Destiny. And it has an epigraph from a poem by Langston Hughes from his poem Harlem. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun or fester like a sore and then run? Manifesting destiny. The domesticated West, afraid of the wilderness, became a wild Western of random shootings, a history of unprocessed emotions and now processed foods, adding to the toxic recipe of dissatisfied citizen consumers. Many trying to feed off of the high, feed off of the spoils of war. Colombia, war for drugs, cocaine, peace for the plant medicine coca. Afghanistan, war for drugs, heroin, peace for the poppy floral medicines. Where we're going depends on where we think we're supposed to go. But only a few claiming God-like vision decided for everyone this manifesting destiny gone global, where some who don't get their share go deranged. The Kazan school shooter in Russia, leaving 9 dead and more wounded after sociopathology media posting, I am like a god, begging the answer that any god who would do such a thing is no god. Actual destiny does not manifest until the fruit of hard work pours forth from a community of hands with no boss, working a field. But after sundown, sometimes the best I can do is pray that every man, woman, and child find their way. Or I hum a tune like Corinne Bailey Rae singing Sapphire and Faded Jeans. I hope you get your dreams. In her song, Put Your Records On. I hope you get your dreams so you don't fester, dry up, or run. And this one was written as a birthday present from my mom a few years ago. And the title is called Meeting with a Remarkable Woman, and it comes from a book written by Gurdjieff, who was a Russian philosopher, mystic, and spiritual teacher, also of Armenian and Greek descent. And his book called Meetings with Remarkable Men. And my mom years ago took classes and studied the Gurdjieff philosophy or way of life. So that's mentioned in the poem, Meeting with a Remarkable Woman. If someone doesn't have anyone to listen, she becomes an ear. If someone has grown lonely in the silence, she becomes a voice. If someone is unable to carry a grocery bag, she becomes an arm. If someone is heartbroken, her heart gets bigger so as to remind the someone the way of healing. If someone has lost their vision, she paints a painting. If someone has forgotten what a human being is, she paints a portrait. If someone doesn't have a friend, she becomes the friend. If someone doesn't have a mother, she becomes the mother. If someone doesn't have a grandmother, an aunt, a sister, she becomes. If someone doesn't have a guide, she becomes the mentor. This mysterious stranger, what her name Barbara signifies, a student of the mystic Gurdjieff, paraphrases his teachings. Pleasant to sit in your comfy robe and slippers by the fireplace, reading about what's best for you and how to handle things, but that's not enough. You have to go out into the world. And going out into the world is an ongoing birthing of one's self. And so, my sweet, strong-spirited mother shows others how to mother themselves. And I'm gonna finish up with some haiku with which I do the singing bowl. So maybe you get a sound check. Is that okay? Give me a nod, Tony. That's okay. All right, this is a singing bowl. And the haiku are going to go from December to spring. All over my bathroom floor, December full moon. After New Year's fireworks, the pure sounds of a flock of geese. New Year's Day quiet, but the shore waters slapping the sands. Gray winter day, Lady Cardinal's orange beak, a miniature sun. See that tree standing tall in the freezing cold? What's your story? Must be good friends, three sparrows gathering on a lilac branch. Protect Mother Earth and respect the spirit in all beings.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank you,
listening.
Monk. Thank you so much. Can unmute yourselves and give them a round of applause.
Really good. I enjoyed that last
Excellent.
poem.
Thank you very much.
Mystic, the mystic in me.
There you go. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Monk. Always, always, always wonderful. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Tony.
Nice imagery.
All right. So our next poet was recommended to me, and then when I posted that Lady Di was going to be here, I got flooded with people saying, "Oh my God, that's wonderful! It's a great way to start the year," and singing high praises. So I don't want to set the bar too high, but I am very much looking forward to Lady Di.
Thank you so much, Tony. And welcome, everybody. Thank you all. Happy New Year. To God be the glory. My first poems, couple of poems are coming from my first poetry book. Some of you know, Forever in Your Eyes, dedicated to Dr. Maya Angelou. And I'm so happy to say that she was able to receive a copy and read it, she said, and sent me a little note back after she read it. My very first poem in the book is Let This Dream Come True. It's still so dear to me. This poem was written in 1989. Friends, Americans, congresspersons, lend me your ear. Households should be headed by a man. The world would be a better place to live. Children would have the positive influence from both parents. Parents sharing work makes a stronger foundation for our children. I dream of world without single family homes, no Mr. Mom and no mommy playing daddy. I dream of world where the father is a strong provider, where mothers nurture family daily. I dream of a world where every family has a strong male dominance, instill seriousness, self-confidence, responsibility, pride, and wisdom. Through the grace of God, all children will know Jesus. Through the grace of God, all children know how to say their prayers at bedtime, kneel on their knees and fold their hands. Through the grace of God, all children know what it is to say blessings before meals, give thanks for food to become nourished and healthy. I dream of a world when children enter school, they will project manners and discipline. When children enter school, are ready to learn and put forth their best efforts. They are creative and willing to succeed. They receive both academics and technical aspects of studies. They receive spiritual and religious guidance and teachings. Dreams do come true. Dreams do come true. Yes, dreams do come true. Let this dream be made a reality. Mothers do not run off to work, leaving the children to send themselves off to school. Mothers are able to be full-time mothers again, devote time towards baking, playing games with the children, and nurturing them tenderly through their childhood. Children can free their minds of questions such as, I wonder where my dad is living, or will my daddy ever come home again? I dream of a world where the nation is free from negative encounters, dwells on positive solutions, promotes construction, and shuns destruction. May nurturing from all mothers instill righteous ways for our children. Let our children know fun is good. It is always better to tell the truth. Love is best of all. Love will conquer all. This dream makes for a better world. Thank you. Reading from my same book, this poem is dedicated to my oldest brother who passed away August, I wrote this poem 2 weeks after he passed, August 30th, 2003. I cry. I cried. I had to cry. I lost the love of my life. I know the goodness of love because of him. I feel the power of the Holy Spirit because of our love and unity. I cherish many glad, glorious memories shared. Grace our spirits. I appreciate our outward expression of love for one another. I love the way we always loved each other. I loved how we expressed our love to each other, often and always. Oh, my handsome knight, I love you, handsome king. I love you with a mighty might. I will always love you. I love how I can still hear you say, I love you too, babe. I will always miss you. I will always have a reason to cry. I hurt, so I cry. Dedicated to the loving memory and great honor of the late Daniel Levi Beverly Jr. I'm going to do a couple of haikus from my same book. The first one is, let's see, highest regard, haiku number 1. Darling, because of you, everything in my life is more cherished. Darling, because of you, everything in my life is more cherished. Beautiful beginnings, haiku number 2. Beginnings are beautiful, now reminiscing on the day we met. Beginnings are beautiful, now reminiscing on the day we met. Mystic change, haiku number 13. You said there's nothing you would change about me. Somehow change comes any old way. You said there was nothing you would change about me. Somehow change comes any old way. And the very last poem in my book is called Committed. And it is, let's see. As we travel love's road around each corner, I will be there for you. As we travel love's road around each corner, I will be there for you. So I think that's all that I'm going to read from Forever in Your Eyes, but I have some other poems. Let's see. My hope for 2022 it's entitled, it's another haiku, and it's entitled Rid COVID. Haiku number 1230. Please cleanse atmosphere. We won't have to wear masks. We can hug again. Please cleanse atmosphere. We won't have to wear masks. We can hug again. This is a poem that I wrote in the beginning of the pandemic, somewhat in the beginning, October 29, 2020. And it's called Sweet Jaded Jewel. It was from a clip, a video clip that I had seen. And I was touched by this story. Sweet jaded jewel, sweet jaded jewel, my heart goes out to you. I feel for you, sweet jade. Many mighty miseries you have felt, multifarious discomforts you have endured. I wonder, sweet jade, what do you feel? What marvelous main tool brought you through? I'm so happy you are able to slowly get out and about, wear masks and gloves, wash your hands. Living alone myself, I know empty feeling of loneliness, especially when you are unable to get up and out. Sweet jaded jewel, hearing your story, I vision myself on my own, living alone. My tool, my saving grace is power of prayer and poetry. Let's see. I have one book too many here. Invasion, a recent 12/29/21 poem, still talking about this monstrous pandemic, invasion. Like a thief in darkness of night, pouncing in, fiercely adding devastation to our lives. All across the world, countries, states, cities, innocent folks dying, dropping off like flies. Hospitals overcrowded, patients left on their own, no family to comfort their fears, no loved ones to hear last words to dry their tears. News flash, pandemic on rise, surge in massive numbers, everyone doing what they can to be safe, wearing masks, covering faces, especially nose and mouth, only uncovered, bewildered eyes. Masks, gloves, hand sanitizer with every step taken. Keep safe distance. Don't get too close. Oh, how we miss wonderful hugs, I must say. If my bestie doesn't mind, we hug anyway. You know, there's a movement to X out hunger in the world. It was started by my dear friend Dr. Hiram LaRue. And I was blessed and honored to be one of the poets that initiated one of the first poems to the United Nations to X out hunger. And the poem is called Pitch In. People are hungry, yet people continue to waste food. Her meals were from partially eaten sandwiches thrown in public trash cans. She watched a child throw away a sandwich, one bite out of it. Getting sandwich from can immediately would be her evening meal. People are hungry, yet people continue to waste food. An apple, a pear, a peach, some cherries, some grapes to help provide nutrition, to help curb appetite. Praying to God above, our Heavenly Father, never to give up ferocious fight. People are hungry, yet people continue to waste food. A project for many years, helping my mother make sandwiches in our kitchen with family and friends, taking sandwiches to organizations like SOME, so others may eat. Brains on cheers. Yay, food is here. People are hungry, yet people continue to waste food. Standing on Main Avenue in freezing cold and snow, holding handmade sign stating, "Help me feed my children, if only for one night." People are hungry, yet people continue to waste food. All across the world, people die from hunger and malnutrition. To ignore this plight would be a ridiculous, selfish shame. People are hungry, yet people continue to waste food. What can you do? What can I do? What can others do to end this international plague? The answer is blowing in the wind, doing something consistent we can all pitch in. People are hungry, yet people continue to waste food. Written for Poetry X Hunger. I hope I have another minute or two. Do I? I can't hear my host.
No. Yeah, because I don't know how to. It's only 2 years. I don't know how to work the unmute button. You have as much time as you'd like.
Oh my goodness gracious. I'm going to do a couple more poems. I'm looking for love. They call me the love poet. So even though love is in caring and sharing, love can be even a little closer than that. This love thing. Then the lights went out. Darkness fell across the entire room. I laid as still as I could on our fresh, silky, bearskin, fluffy ivory rug. I was not afraid, wondering, should I be? Safety is what we thrive to feel. Alexa, play Smokey Robinson. Anything by Smokey. I can feel this love thing seeping in. Great choice. Creeping in like butter on a biscuit. Does raspberry jam come with that biscuit? I love feeling this love thing in heat of dark, especially sexy exotic rug is near and dear. Warms, chilly, rainy, snowy night. Sweet music, melody to my soul, lifts my spirit, ecstatic. The lights will come back on in dawn of morn. Southern lovers. Love, oh love, perpetually tickles my exhilarated heart. Ecstatic to be reunited. Hour after hour, we sit in homemade wooden rocker under giant magnolia down by river's bank. Silver strands shine and glisten our hair from dawn to dusk. Delightful, darling days gone by, we reminisce. So many stories connected and counted into a passionate, pleasing platoon. Remembering our favorite dessert, yesterday, I made a sweet love cake. 3 buttery homemade layers made from scratch. Each layer spread with Milky Way nugget stacked and covered in fluffy, creamy milk chocolate icing, generously sprinkled with our favorite nuts. Fresh pecan half oozed like old-fashioned hearty love and laughter shared between lovers with each bite, each deliciously moist slice. And in closing, I'm gonna do, thank you so much, thank you. I'm gonna present, looking for this poem here, a poem I wrote for my dad. I had it, yeah, I have it marked. I'm a daddy's girl, so I wrote this poem for my dad earlier last year. My dad, honorable man. I want to honor my dad, Montfort Point Marine, for ever doing what he can to gain dignity and respect for our race. Dignity and pride, bravery, for sure, during World War II. Dad helped to integrate the noble branch of service, this noble branch of service. Throughout years, with wondrous cheers, we thought strict discipline came from great-grandfather. Now we know from gold medal and certificates received, a great portion of his style came from United States Marines. The few, the proud, we are looking for a few good men. Mightily fulfilled when Dad joined the Marines. A force to be reckoned, neat and clean, shoes polished, hair combed, nice bright white shirt he wore. Think well of self, strong dignity and pride, confidence will not hide, forever stating, I'm no better than anybody and nobody is any better than me. How much excitement can one heart hold? Let it be told, posthumously received a framed letter of recognition and appreciation from President Barack Obama. Yes, Dad was a mighty good man, doing best he can, working 2 jobs, all overtime at hand, taking immaculate care with phenomenal love, ardent dedication for 9 children and his darling wife. Here's to you, my father, for greatness in you, for all you taught us with your daily affirmations. Hard work never hurt nobody. Laziness will kill you. Do your best or not at all. Thank you, Daddy, for taking good care of me. Thank you for always being there for me. Thank you for your words of wisdom, even when I could not see. Oh, Daddy dear, rest in peace. Please know I will always be Daddy's girl. Dedicated in memory of the late Daniel Levi Beverly Sr. And in closing, I'll always be Daddy's girl. I want to dance with my daddy again too. I want to be his little girl, so happy, so true. I want to whisper words and watch Dad smile. I want to hear him say, too bad they can't stay small a longer while. I'll always be Daddy's girl. I want to wake in the morning to Dad's melodic mellow songs. I want to feel safe and warm and strong as Daddy holds me in his arms. I want to hear him say, is everybody happy? And send me on a chore saying, you're not back yet, girl? Make it snappy. I want to listen to Dad's wit and wisdom all night. I want to have Dad hug me and say, everything's going to be all right. I want to turn back the hands of time and in my daily life, feel Dad's love shine. I'll always be Daddy's girl. Thank you.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Oh, thank you
Bravo.
so much.
Uplifting, a great beginning
Thank
for
you. Thank you, Billy.
2022.
Thanks for being there.
Yay!
All
Thank you,
right.
Sally.
Wonderful.
Love it, love it, love it.
Ah,
Oh,
too
my baby,
amazing.
my queen, my sweetheart. Hi, honey. Hi, honey. Diane. Oh, I see Benjamin's there. Benjamin.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tony.
Thank you, Monk. Thank you, Sylvia. Lady Di. All right, so we're going to do our open mic. Again, as I said, if you do not wish to participate, just throw yourself into the chat. Just tell me. I will ask for the next person and then tell the other person that they're on deck. For those of you who are not baseball fans, that means you're next. So we're going to start off with Marvin, and then Ann Cohn, you're on deck.
Okay, this poem.
Oh,
this-
Marvin.
Hello.
Every single time you've read, you've asked me if I could hear you. This time you don't ask. So let's
Except last time.
well let's come on. Let's not break the streak. Come on.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Marvin. Go ahead. You're up.
Okay. Amanda Wingfield is the overbearing mother in the Glass Menagerie who sustains herself on a past that never was. She was married to a telephone man who fell in love with long distance and he abandoned her. So this poem is to Amanda. You need a man, Amanda, not Champ or Beauregard, but Joe or Jim, bruising your body with groans, shaking the jonquils from their roots, and raising the mansion with cries through the tenements of your body walls. You need a man, Amanda, not chartreuse lanterns, shimmering pale yesterdays, but naked light bulbs, glaring in sharp relief, the holding action of today's desire. Sell subscriptions to yourself, Amanda. Stuff volumes of your being between sheets that fire escapes from Blue Mountain Blues. Let the sun rise and shine, finding you both blinking away, just an orange lollipop to those who pray by the moon.
Thank you, Marvin. Somebody's asked whether or not we are recording this. We do. We put it up on our YouTube, the Oceanside Library YouTube page. We don't have all of the ones that we've done recorded. That was a mistake on my part, but it should be up. I send it over to our tech librarian. She usually has it up in a couple of days, and it will send around the link. So Anne, you're up, and Sally, Tony, you're on deck.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you to our wonderful readers. Such a delight, so thought-provoking and above all uplifting. So I thank the two of you very much. This one is called Handcrafted Love. This one is dedicated to my mother. For some, words suffice for affirmation, but homemade love was Mom's vocation. Stitch by stitch, with basted seams, handcrafted love lives on in dreams. Curtains billowing in breeze, linens trimmed and hemmed with ease, needlepoint and tapestry, shelves edged with lace filigree, spinning wheel and weaving loom, embroidered pillows dress up a room, Afghans, playettes, scarves, and socks. Knitting needles kept time with clocks. Sweaters, mittens, hats, and gloves. Cozy shawls, as soft as doves. Mended holes vanish without a trace. Crocheted doilies fill blank space. Wedding gown, christening gown, Barbie clothes. How many garments? Nobody knows. 1,000 I love yous, wordlessly spoken. Handcrafted by Martha, a treasured token.
Wonderful, Anne. Very sweet. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, Sally, you're up, and Diane Parks, you're on deck.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to our readers. Just incredible reading tonight. This is for my nephew, Miles, and it ran in Gargoyle magazine a couple of years back. It is his birthday today, so that's why I'm going to go ahead. It's his 7th birthday. Read this for him. I talked to him earlier. He got a snow day. Got to get on his sled. It's called Jabberjaw for Miles. Jabberjaw is a freaking snitch. The Neptunes were funded by the DEA to bust hippies. My husband thinks he's really clever, but making fun of Hanna-Barbera characters is like shooting ducks in a barrel. I explained that our 4-year-old nephew demanded that I draw him a shark, and my first attempt resembled a duck with 3 arms. You see this face? My nephew said, pointing backwards to his frown. This is because isn't because your shark was bad. You just drew him in the wrong place. And then he flipped the notebook over and showed me clean paper, a clean slate, just like that. Yes, my sage and light up sneakers, I see your face, the monkey bar gash under your bangs that will heal and your missing front teeth that will grow back. I remember when I was you, learning how to whistle, trying so hard with nothing crossing my lips but tinted air. I had not passed the graveyard yet. So I'll draw you Jabberjaw, a drum jamming, crime fighting shark whose tongue is sharper than his teeth. Because you are way past Saint Exupery. You didn't ask me to draw a sheep or an elephant swallowed whole by a boa constrictor. Instead, you asked for a shark, the oldest creature in our evolution, even as he solves mysteries and keeps the beat in the near future of our unturned page.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. By the way, if you're not on our email list and you would like to get notices of these readings, please throw your email into the chat, or you can direct message me if you like, and I'll make sure that I add you. I should also mention that on January 17th, we'll have Christina Rao from New York and Joe Cottonwood from California will be our 2 features. So we're looking forward to that. So with that, Diane Parks, you're up, and Doreen, you're on deck.
Thank you so much, Tony. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
And I so enjoyed both of the readers this evening. It was a pleasure. So what I'm going to read to you is almost not fair because this is based on music from Hang Massive. Oh, it's just amazing. I wish all of you could hear them. It's a response to The Secret Kiss of the Sun and Moon. Yeah. And so I love them. Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, this is called Awaken and Unfasten. I will only read an excerpt because this poem is very long. But this is what I was feeling. My life is suspended by a hush that listens to melodies, that opens to the touch of 4 palms, 8 fingers, and 2 metal drums that split and translate a language in me that I've never spoken before, but am fluent in now. Such masculinity needs a bride. I have become a wife to all of these, a polygamist to the rocks, the sand, the sky, the metal, the drums that dangle inside me, that fetch water from the flowing feet of rocks, echoing from here into a maiden sky, that asks for nothing, just the gaze of heels that hang massively and drip into sand, where the weightless sound of church gathers to ring its bell without need of scripture. God is here, bursting of such blossoms that leave the kiss of green splendor and ease into song. Husbandry echoes chime through me, teaching me how to speak in 2 tongues, love and honor. I am taught that everything untwists here, free to roam. It is the regalement of these wild births that arrest my thoughts, my needs, these fading lines that melt, that honor such natural beauty, that balances and glorifies. The long bridge is not often the road that is born inside four hands that pulls its rhythm along the earth and takes its green arms, a wife who loves everything too often, too much, too many. And I will stop there. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh,
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
Diane.
Wonderful. Okay, Doreen, you're up, and Emiliano, you're on deck.
Okay,
That's
thank
just wonderful.
thank you, first of all, Lady Di and Monk. This is really marvelous, really, really wonderful. I want to wish everyone a gentle new year. And I'm going to read a poem that I was going to read at the Oceanside Library on Saturday because I was one of the features. And since this poem can only be read in this month, I'll read it now. Only January. Lone lily sits in forgotten water. Fishers let in too much light. Lies hover, drift dark clouds. Her heart, invisible page, she can feel the etched message her eyes fail to interpret. Butterfly words raise her lids to familiar colors gone before retrieval. She carries a germ of hope in her pocket. It is that kind of year. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Emiliano, you're up, and Bernard Hicks, you're on deck.
Good evening and Happy New Year to all of you. The train. In the train of our life, it is not the destination what matters the most, nor it is the train station we get on. It is the ride and conversation with people we meet along. It is the company we keep till we finally get off at the end of our journey. It is that special moment catching the eye of the stranger for no reason. It is the look of attention wrapped in unexpected glances, inspiring us to move on while rejoicing in good vibes, even if the trip was short. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Okay, Bernard, you're up, and Louis Zimmerman, you're on deck.
Hello, everyone. This poem was co-written by my poet with myself and my poetry fairy godmother, Miss Judy Turek. I think Vincent Price's spirit was in the air when we was writing this poem. The title of this poem is Medieval Nature. I'm gonna give my ode to Vincent Price on this one. Last night, the moon howled back at the wolves. Like a falsetto echo, their ears twitched as they waited in line, military silence, hangry growls from their empty bellies. Soldierly, they waited for the signal of the moon, tide turning, the leader returning with food. The aroma of the kill suddenly changes their mood. They break ranks, charge at the meager meal. The moon angrily howls the dining pecking order, but growing pups disrupt the rules, ignore warnings as they flex their chests and stand shoulder to shoulder. Thunder drowns their growls, stills their need to fight. Primal urges controlled by our powerful, majestic force. Moonbeams soothe feral eyes and voracious appetites. Ferocious beasts hypnotized into docility. Peaceful accord unites them in flesh and fur. Thank you.
Great job. Great job. All right. Let's see. So Louis, you're up, and Larry McCoy, you're on deck. Louis, you have to unmute yourself, buddy. Still got to try again, Louis.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you. Yep, you're all good.
Okay, good. Okay. This poem is called Before. It's playing somewhere around here beforehand, playing and being sung on campuses, in small clubs, and in garages when they should be doing homework. A sound, a style unique and fully formed before it has a name. Music born of here and now and all that's ever been before. It's playing again tonight before it gets around, before its YouTube goes viral and the little rooms are suddenly too small for the listeners, before it reaches the right ears and demos get slipped to DJs and it catches on worldwide before parents even hear of it and has its own time of oversaturated renown, before it fades under the shadow of the next and newer and disappears from everywhere but a few FM spots and reemerges 1 year's later day, remastered and heralded as emblematic of an era. So before all that, let's go listen. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Louis. Larry, you're up, and Brian James, you're on deck.
This is a truncated version of something I put on my website last week. 5 things I should stop doing in 2022. 1, turning on a cable news channel and expecting to get the news. 2, having a December lunch with a Jewish couple and asking, how do you celebrate Christmas? 3, putting something we no longer use in the basement. 4, yawning nearly nonstop from 8 to 9 p.m. every night, but not going to bed until after 11:30. 5, asking a granddaughter who has a pet bird, how big does that bird have to get before you can eat it? That's it.
Oh, Happy New Year, Larry. Thank you so
Same
much.
to you.
Absolutely so much. Okay, Brian, you're up, and Robert Dean, you're on deck.
Thank you. I'm here in support of Lady Di. I'm also a student. Well, he's a colleague, but I'm a student of Dr. Hiram LaRue, which is her colleague. I'm also a student of Lady Di. So she is the love poet, so I'll get right to a love poem. It is called Blind. Yet even when I close my eyes and fall into the abstract art ablaze in color against my inner blackness, your image beckons through, an outline etched in a vivid shade and stellar points of light. I see you like moonbeams on the dark seas of my mind. And on this shoreline of eternity, I stand on notice, on the abyss of an endless void. As you ebb and flow with my pulse, you are the pattern of my heartbeat. And when I close my eyes, I find myself almost wishing to be blind, if only to touch you in new dimensions and make love to you in new depths. Go deeper than thy flesh. I want to know thy essence, where marrow and bone is replaced by stardust and cosmos, where your soul is free. I want to know you there, my love. And yes, I would choose to remain blind, to be forever cast in ebony, save for your likeness, save for your image, for this would be the better blessing, indeed, my heaven. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brian. Welcome. If you want to be added, again, if anybody wants to be added to our email list, just throw it into the chat. Robert, you're up, and Billy O'Cara. You're on deck.
All right, well, it's great to be here and enjoyed the 2 features. As always, you have good feature readers here, Tony. And some of the folks I know here, I don't know. I'm going to read one of 2 poems that was recently published. In fact, it was on New Year's Day in the online magazine Queen's Quinterly. And the title of the poem is Light Speed. What if we are all galaxies, or what's left of them, light traveling at the speed of death, billions of years ago death, seeking the open eyes of one curious child, neck craned, scanning the heavens, not for some sign of God, but for some sign others were here once, brilliant, beautiful, spinning, spiraling out from their own dark matter. And what if we take up residence in those eyes? Are we born again? Will we live forever? See ourselves looking back at ourselves? Or wink out in a flutter of lashes? And where do we go when the mother calls out? The child climbs into bed. Where do we go when the sun comes up? Does the child dream of us? Carry us to school? Hear our primal Big Bang screams in the interstellar space between the teachers 1 + 1 = 2? And if the child too is star stuff, then what is it we retain in the orbs of our spiraling arms, cradle as we collapse into black hole lullabies, retrograde toward wombs of initial singularities? And what if the multiverse, all those infant orbs gazing up, down, eyeing infinite varieties of us? Do we die in all our incarnations when we die in one? Or do we, as in dreams, blaze forever, one heaven or another, birthing, rebirthing, scanning the skies for the remnants of all the lives of us? Thank you.
Wonderful, Robert. Thank you so much. Billy, you're up. Judy, you're on deck.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm going to read, and this is my first time even hearing about this literary effort. I'm so glad to be here. I'm going to read a poem from my second book I published, The Days of Me and God, and it's just simply called Black. I have been in blackness so black, black don't even know it be black. Night so heavy on me, daylight had to trip by quiet lest it rip unripened woe from the vine and leave in kind its own morning. Seems to me if you could just see a little sunlight, just peer from under blankets of soullessness and bless the coming of day, then you could play the dozens with tragedy and have your say with Holocaust and boss it back with your knack for word and song. Don't get me wrong, I have spoken to the leader of the band and he be playing oldies but goodies, but blues be blowing from the thick and broken reed of a sad alto sax. What I lack is joy, just enough to keep black at bay and the braying hounds from sounding the judgment horn. Gabriel be set to play blue-black notes in rote repetitions and staccato screams careen from the djembe drum, the tum-de-tum-tum of feet in Ghanaian frenzy. My black be blacker than the closing of the eye at the death hour, towering above me, hovering over me, walking with me, toying with my joystick, messing with my praise. And I have day upon day of no contact with God, and as way leads on to way, I've come to wear black rather nicely, while the icy gorge below, bellowing over the falls, is calling every hour. The great falls tripping over jagged rock with the ridge of hell just under the foam of the wave. Oh, save me, God, you who from the dark abyss kiss the deepest star with sun and star, you who sparred with Leviathan and won. Save me, God, you who declares what is and ain't as the saints be dancing down demons, down in the sister circle, shirt tails whirling in dervish drunkenness, black thighs absent the sign of the lying lover. My black be blue black, berry black, brazen, brash, bigger, better, bitter, broken, bodacious, brutish, brooding, bold, burgeoning, bigot, boastful beggar of a burly black, and being neither cold nor lukewarm, it be hotter than sunstroke, red hot, hotter than Holocaust. My black be blacker than my fist to your cheek, at a hissy fit black, where Jack Corner and Little Miss Muffet sat and sprayed venom all over suffering. Now I ain't one to pray, wash me whiter than snow, 'cause snow be cold and hearts be frozen easy. And there's the sleazy way soul tends to disappear when even spectral light won't penetrate, and there ain't no hue to guide you over. My black be blacker than midnight, black so black that I have a knack for walking, shoulders bent cowering from sacred eye, when just above my head in the sky there's a rainbow.
Woo! Oh, that absolutely wonderful.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
I'm gonna take a half a step
Amazing.
out before I put Judy on, because Judy knows and Doreen that I've been running an outdoor reading series for about 15 years, and I, to the core of myself, hate open mics with just a white hot passion. But since we've been doing them on Zoom, I have to tell you, I really enjoy them, and I'm just loving this whole night. You guys turned my whole day around between the two features and these wonderful, wonderful readings and these samplings of new poets or poets that we haven't heard or I haven't heard. This is just absolutely wonderful. And not to set the bar too high, okay, but here is one of Long Island's premier poets. So Judy, you're up, and Bernardo, you're on deck.
Well, thank you, Tony, and I'm glad you're enjoying poetry. See, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Thank you, Lady Di. Thank you, Monk. What a great couple of features, and wow, the open is just amazing. And so, so I'm going to read something from my Imagistics book. We had haiku and we had family, and so Blue Jays. Haiku sequence. Shaded by dogwood, front yard sanctuary, robins, sparrows, doves. Newcomer blue jay squawks his discontent, bird bath dry. 4 friends join the blue jay in my bird bath, no rain for days. A robin hops by, the squawker descends, robin runs. Fill the arid bath from a jug of tap water. 5 blue jays gone. Days go by, no sign of blue feathered wings, no doves, no sparrows. Wait for their return, but like you, Dad, they've left me lonely. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Wonderful.
Thank you, Judy.
Okay, Bernardo, you're up, and Linda Dickman, you're on deck.
Thank you, Tony. It's good to be here, y'all. I came with the entourage of Lady Di. She's a good friend of mine, and it was an awesome reading and an awesome poetry afterwards. Just awesome. My offering for you is an offering for 2022 from my chapbook, Bridge Over Trouble. I said I'm going to take a hiatus from doing Zooms and stuff, especially when I'm sitting to work for 8 hours in a chair. But this is my dear friend. I wanted to show up for her. So I got to get to work on this. I got to get to work on this next book and get this publishing done.
Yep.
All right. January 6th is right around the corner. And I am one of those seers that God blesses with an eye to see things. And when I see them, I can't unsee them. So I have an ominous feeling about things that are happening, but I'm trying to find that hope. So sometimes I go put my pen to paper and I talk to God, and God gave me this poem, Ethos. Let the ethos ghost the urgent of my disturbance, and let me be still, filled, enveloped in thy will, sheltered in a way of wonder, peaceful in the thunder, faithful to the rest. Aid me in forgiveness, and let my only stress be the remembrance of your deliverance, that you are in control. It's your purpose that unfolds, even from this place that is my soul. Let me know, let me flow, letting go. Let the ethos post me notes of comfort in my spirit. Where there's beauty, let me hear it, sing it, bring it, fling it into space, that it might bless another just as sure as I was graced. Let me not waste another minute in the emptiness of hate. Closely watch my aperture, dose me steep in faith. Clothe me in omniscience, how you make no mistakes. Coast me through the turbulence, roast away my fears. Most of all, enthrall me in your love and always keep me near. Let me flow, let me grow, letting go. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, and thanks for joining us. And hopefully you'll join us again, because that was really wonderful. Linda Dickman, you're up, and Idarenian, you're on deck.
It's good to be here, and what a company of poets we are in. I'm going to read something to you from my latest book called Road Trip 2, On the Road Again, and this was something I saw in South Dakota, in Salem. It's called Wigwams, Wigwams. A challenge came from Lady Bird to beautify the land. Wigwam took the challenge home within his gifted hands. There he soon created a culture intersect, interlocking spirals, wigwams with respect. These concrete lodgepole structures wrought with plan and pride, something good upon our land, they overlooked the countryside. They leaned as if the stakes in tune with unheard flute and drum were in rapt agreement, turning then as one. Ward Wigwam's concrete teepees, calling us to harmony still. Thank you.
Wow, great.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Idarenian, you're up, and Joy, is Joy still with us? I'm looking here. Hang on a second. It's Joy. Yes, Sister Joy Alford, you're on deck.
Hi, Tony. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year to you. Good to see you.
Yes, thank you.
Or hear you.
Gonna read something I read before, but I added something else to it. It's called Pedestal. I read that in 2021. Standing on that pedestal scares me half to death. Mental acrophobia, exponential increase. The higher the column, the greater the fear. Motion sickness, the shaking of the base. My heart can't handle the thoughts in their heads. The weight of their plinth might not hold me up. The cheers, the acclaims, the tooting of the horns, with time will deafen or maybe even end. And upon what feelings remains unknown. The roller coaster, no solid foundation, it could all fall apart. When anger and fear grip their hearts on all four chambers, one by one, and emerge from the cracked shell of life's humanity. I just might lose my balance and fall off the base, an emotional concussion, horrific conclusion. And as I dust myself, I'll proclaim and say, don't put me on your pedestal. I'd rather sit on mine. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Joy, you're up. Barbara, you're on deck. Joy. All right, we'll swing back to Joy. Barbara, you're up, and Margaret, you're on deck. Somebody say something because it sounds like there's no sound.
Hello?
Okay, good. All right. So I hear it.
Here.
Okay. So Barbara, you're up. No Barbara. Okay. Margaret, you're up. And Christine, you're on deck.
Hey, hi, everyone. I'm going to be reading from the Poets to Come anthology, the Walt Whitman anthology. Both of our features did tributes to their parents, so here's mine. Honor, in memory of my mom, Doris Wall. My mom had a gun, like Westerns or cop movies, a real 22 caliber, sometimes a 32. My mom, she wasn't scared, came from a tough Bed-Stuy neighborhood. Growing up, my brothers would tease, when mama shoots the gun, everyone runs. Truth is, mom's gun was more privilege than protection. And those people who ran from her, they are the fastest runners of the world. You see, my mom she had a gun and held it well above her head, arms straight in the air at heaven's reach. My mom shot fire for track and field for over 35 years. She met President Dixon, Jackie Joyner Kersee, Carl Lewis, all at the starting and the finish lines. My mom, she had a gun with plaques and citations and rewards. The first United States starter at the Olympics, Atlanta, Georgia, 1996. Today, I sit here proud to say I'm her daughter.
They're here.
Bravo.
Absolutely wonderful. Okay, Christine, you're up. And I think I've got everybody. If I've missed anybody, either throw it in the chat or speak up loud. I think everybody else said that they didn't want to read, but if I missed anybody, please let me know. But Christine, you're up.
Okay, thanks a lot for tonight, Tony. It's been wonderful. This is an acrostic poem that I wrote while standing in front of Winslow Homer's painting Deer Drinking, 1892, at the Metropolitan Museum. Winslow Homer's Deer Drinking, 1892. Bending low on spindly legs, her reflection distorts as her fleshy tongue laps at the sky. Her round eyes are mesmerized by the beast beneath the glass, whose actions stir the water into concentric circles as she slakes her thirst and smudges her gentle features in the wetness of the mirror. Thank you.
You're here. All right. Have I missed anybody? That being said, I'm going to finish one. This is one, if you've heard this before, I do apologize, but it's one that I treat myself to at the beginning of each year with my New Year's resolutions. But first, my clothes are all washed, folded, and put away. Whoops. And so is my camera. Okay, my clothes are all washed, folded, and put away. My desk is neat, all papers filed, pencils sharpened, stapler loaded, paperclip jar jammed to the brim. I've written lists of life events I've planned, projects to do, places to see. The floors are vacuumed and polished, each room dusted and scrubbed. Even the inches of wall behind the light switches are wiped free of offending dirt. My car is washed and waxed, oil changed, tires rotated, gas tank filled, radio stations reset for my current favorites. No weeds remain in the beds or the freshly mown lawn. I've rearranged the shed, emptied the garage, then filled it again. There's enough seed in the bird feeders to save Tippy Hendren. Old clothes are in the donation bin, used cans in the recycle bin, potato peels in the compost bin. I've called my father, my brother, my sister, the elder, my sister, the younger, my grandfather, aunts and uncles, my cousins, first, second, third, and removed. My nephews and nieces, neighbors, old friends, new friends, acquaintances, old workmates, new workmates, teachers and coaches and Cub Scout leaders. I've had tea with Jehovah Witnesses until they've begged to leave. I've cleaned the pantry and the freezer and scoured the bottom tray of the toaster oven. I've cared for my person from hair to toes and all in between in detail too gross to mention. I've watched TV shows and DVDs and cleared out my DVR. I've listened to CDs and MP3s and rearranged the playlists in my Spotify. I've answered all my email, forwarded all the chain letters, Googled everyone I've ever met, signed as many online petitions as I could find, even for causes I don't support. I've balanced my checkbook and sent in all my warranty cards, including the one for the George Foreman grill I gave away last March. I've checked my horoscope, tackled the crossword in the jumble, subdued the Sudoku and the word search. I have the hockey standings memorized. I've gone to the library, the bookstore, the dry cleaners, the supermarket, the fish store, the deli, the jeweler, the card store, the florist, the donut shop. I've gone to the cigarette stand, though I don't smoke, the bodega, though I don't speak Spanish, the tuxedo rental store, though there's no formal in my future. I've taken my pills, my flaxseed, my vitamins. I've baked and seared and barbecued, roasted and braised and fried. I've showered and bathed and napped. I've daydreamed and nightmared. I've hoped and I've prayed and I've begged. So I guess it's almost time to write.
Great. Beautiful.
Thank you very much, everybody. Listen, it's been one of the best evenings we've ever had here. I want to thank so much Monk and Lady Di and every one of you in the open mic. You've given me a new appreciation for open mics. Again, thank you very much. We're back here again on January 17th. With Joe Cottonwood and Christina Rao, and look forward to seeing everybody. As always, I'll leave the room open for socialization, but I am going to close the recording.
Ciao. Ciao.